a 5-alarm fire for your taste buds.
88, it's time to eat.
Such a explosion on your palate.
Mamma mia!
We're rounding up the best recipes from our local fire stations.
This is only my first place trophy from the rib cook-off.
And bringing them to you,
the sweet,
hot off the presses.
savory.
He always nails it.
Get your appetite ready.
Someone's going to enjoy that bite right there.
We're cooking with fire.
Dig in, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'm Natalie Bomke. All year long, we visited some of our local fire stations to learn how to make their favorite firehouse meals. This half hour, we're dishing up the very best, and we begin in the western suburbs. We're heading eastbound and down this morning, cooking with fire at the Lombard Fire Department, making a sandwich that Bandit would be proud of. We have stepped into the kitchen here at Station 45. I'm with firefighter Bob Hopper, and this morning we're going to do what they say can't be done.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm a hurry. You want something?
We are making the Diablo sandwich. And Bob, why is this such a hit at this fire station?
It's such a hit at this fire station because it's very easy to make, and we are a very busy fire department, so we don't really have time to get too elaborate. So this is my take of the Diablo sandwich, which is basically a Southwestern sloppy Joe.
Now, I understand that you beat, with this sandwich, in a cooking competition, one of the other chefs that I interviewed, Dom Iovino with the Stickney Fire Department.
Yes, but he is a legit chef. I'm just the guy that can cater your football party.
Okay, so we've got the first step right here. Take off the lid, Bob, and tell me what is inside.
Okay, so we have our ground beef that's browned with fajita seasoning, so that's our first step.
All right, what else we got over here?
Okay, we're gonna put our bacon in there, put it all in because everything's better with bacon. All right, and then we're actually gonna put in our, we got our tomatoes. This is our chili tomatoes. We got about 24 ounces of green chili tomatoes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna put in our chipotle sauce. All right, that's about 6 ounces of, I'm gonna just mix it all up in there.
Okay. And then when are we putting in the rest of the ingredients? This all at once kind of thing?
This is kind of all at once. So then after that, we're going to put in our seasoning, which is basically, it is taco seasoning with chipotle peppers and a little bit of cumin and a little bit of paprika, and we're going to mix it all together. And then we are going to throw in our corn, and that is some Mexican corn. We're going to put it all in there, and then we're going to heat this up, and we're going to let it probably simmer for about maybe 25 minutes tops.
Okay, so while this is simmering, I want you to show me that fire pole that is out in the garage, okay?
Perfect.
All right, let's go.
All right, Natalie, we have something pretty unique here. We're one of the few firehouses in the area that actually has a fire pole. So this fire pole came from the Chicago Fire Insurance Patrol. When they shut down that house in the 60s, we're lucky enough to have it donated here.
Awesome. Last step, the Italian breadcrumbs. We've let this simmer for about 20 minutes or so. Bob, if you want to pop the top off, I will dump these in. And why are we putting these in?
Okay, well, basically this is a sloppy Joe, and this is it's going to wind up a little loose, so to tighten it up a little bit, we just add some breadcrumbs. Just easier for serving, and it's not messy. You don't want it running down your elbows.
Oh, yeah, got a little mess here. Let me help you out here. Get that off there. That's a way to an awful multiply.
If you've got a long way to go and a short time to get there, this sandwich will certainly hit the spot.
Just remember, Natalie, no Diablo sandwich is complete without being served with a nice cold Dr. Pepper.
A fast meal fit for a bandit or a Lombard firefighter.
I love spicy food. I know Bob Hopper makes really good food every single meal, so I could always count on Bob for a good lunch or a dinner.
We have stepped into the kitchen with firefighter paramedic Stephen Marks. And what are we making today?
We are going to be making chicken al pastor tacos. Usually when you go to Mexican restaurants, made with a pork shoulder, but we wanted to do it a little healthier, so we're going to be making them with chicken thighs today, and the guys still really enjoy them.
I bet they're delicious. All right, so what are the first steps?
So the first steps are we saute, we boil, and we simmer.
Saute butter, chopped onion, and garlic for 3 minutes. Then bring chicken stock, chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, and dried chili peppers to a boil. Add white vinegar, sugar, salt, cumin, Mexican oregano, and achio paste, and simmer for 15 minutes. Chef Steven pours the mixture into a blender cup that's filled with ice cubes to dilute and chill the marinade. He pours the marinade over the chicken thighs and then throws it in the fridge for 4 to 12 hours.
We've stepped outside now to the amazing smoker. And how long has this chicken been in there, Steven?
So it's been on for about 5 hours at a temp of right around 275.
And you've got some pineapple slices too.
Yes, so the last half hour of the cooking process, I'll throw on some pineapple, and that will be for the topping for our tacos.
So good. Let's get it ready for the guys.
Back inside, Steven stacks his tacos with grilled pineapple, fresh onion, and cilantro.
I can't even make this up. Here in Addison, they use a rubber chicken for their dinner call over the PA. Dinner's ready.
This firehouse has a reputation of responding to chicken emergencies.
Well, we did save 15,000 egg-laying chickens about a year ago, so...
That's right, I interviewed you for that story, yes. And I understand you got an award.
I did. We got an award for the department for our humane treatment of animals.
A happy ending for the chickens and a story that never gets old.
Here in Addison, we do like to have a lot of fun, especially at the dinner table. It's a place where we like to relax and kick back.
We have stepped inside the kitchen with Fire Lieutenant Dominic Iovino, aka Chef Pookie Bear. Where did you get that nickname?
Got the nickname a couple of years ago. I participated on a new show called Big Bad Budget Battle on Food Network. My name is Dominic Iovino. I'm a firefighter for the village of Stickney, Illinois, 23 years in. My job as that firehouse chef is to make everything somebody can eat without anybody having any fuss over it. Well, here's $30 to make 2 meals. I have absolutely zero clue what I'm making.
All right, so we're going to be making your famous pot roast sandwiches with tangy barbecue sauce. What is the first step?
First step's going to be to season the roast. So we're going to do a little olive oil, salt, pepper, and some garlic.
Once the steak is seared on both sides, place it in a crock pot on high heat for 4 hours with beef stock.
Now it's time for the tangy barbecue sauce. And Dom, I've already put in the salt and pepper. What else do we need?
Okay, so now we're going to put 2 cups of ketchup in there.
All right, you put them out in the ramekins for me. I'm scooping that in. I like how this is kind of like we're using the pre-made ketchup to speed things up a little bit.
Well, that's the thing with this, too. You can make a barbecue sauce really flavorful with just a handful of ingredients you got in your pantry. You don't have to go out and buy anything special.
We'll add in apple cider vinegar, honey, a few dashes of Worcestershire sauce, ground mustard, smoked paprika, garlic powder, and brown sugar.
Is there a dentist in the house? Anybody? Yes? No?
We'll simmer that sweet sauce for a few minutes. In the meantime, Dominic prepares the pickled onions in a jar with apple cider vinegar, water, salt, and sugar. A dish fit for a Stickney firefighter and chief.
I believe his cooking appearance put Stickney on the map. It brings us together as a family. Because at any given second, we could be out the door, going to a fire, going to an ambulance call.
We are cooking with fire in Markham, making a spicy burger that you will definitely want to put on your tailgate menu.
We have stepped into the kitchen with Markham firefighter Despite, and despite the name, he's a great chef here. What are we going to be making?
We're going to be making jerk burgers today.
Okay, before we get to that, though, you have an interesting story as to how you became a firefighter.
Yes. Regretfully, when I was 7, I started a fire, and the firefighters that showed up made a huge impression on me.
I would say so. And then it just blew up from there, some might say. Yes,
definitely.
yes. You're a beloved firefighter here in Markham. Okay, so we're going to be making these Jamaican jerk burgers. You've got an array of spices.
And the list is long. Cajun seasoning, black pepper, blackened seasoning, garlic powder, Mrs. Dash original, Old Bay seasoning, onion powder, seasoned salt, and jerk marinade.
So we're going to sprinkle each of these on, right? And you've got an interesting way of kind of doing this, because I would just throw it in a bowl, and then I would kind of meld them all together in the bowl. But so someone's going to get a lot of garlic powder.
Right.
How
So
do we prevent this?
typically try and evenly spread it across the meat.
What I like is a surprise bite. So someone might be a garlic person, someone might be getting a little more Mrs. Dash seasoning, and I think that's the fun of it, really,
Yes,
Dee.
it can be. Someone's going to enjoy that bite right there.
Firefighter D does not trust my judgment, so he's mixing things up more.
You're not going to get one bite without the sweet, savory jerk flavor.
So now we've brought in a police officer from Markham, and this is Calvin Short. This is actually his recipe. So as we lift the grill and we throw the patties on there, Calvin, why is this such a hit, you think, with the firefighters and the police officers?
As Spike was saying, you know, it creates such a explosion on your palate. So what we're doing here is we have, of course, our seasoned meat, and then we break it down into quarter patties.
It's a meal that cooks up quick before they get the next call.
We go to various calls, and the police are there and we're there, so we have to work together. So outside the job or during shift, you know, we invite them over. We've had them over for Thanksgiving. We just like to bond together.
Okay, who's ready to eat?
Having a jerk burger, it plays right along with one of my favorite foods. It's kind of adds like something different to like the regular burger that you're used to.
I like eating together, you know. Depending on the day, it allows us time to kind of decompress together.
If you're hungry for more, stay tuned. The Lisle Woodridge Fire Protection District introduces us to the finer things in life with a trip to Italy. Welcome back. Cooking with Fire continues with a little taste of Italy in Lisle. We are cooking with fire at the Lisle Woodridge Fire Protection District, and if you think this rig is red hot, you got to see this meal. We have stepped into the kitchen here with firefighter paramedic Eric Sparks, and what are we going to be making?
We're going to be making gemelli pasta with chicken cutlets.
Perfect. Okay, so you have already made the pasta. Thank you for that, or the dough anyway. How do you make this specific pasta?
So first we make the dough, and then after we make the dough, we roll it out into a circular or rectangular-like shape, just really flat, and then we just cut strips of this dough, okay? And it sort of takes this like fettuccine-looking shape. After we have this shape already cut, then we just take this and we roll it in our hands.
And you've done that there for me twice,
And essentially, this is just making a worm-like shape. So to make this pasta, you create like a U, okay? You attach the loose ends with your finger, and then you take this end and you twist it, just like this, okay?
And the pasta means twins in Italy, right?
It does. Gemelli means twin in Italian.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so you are going to, I think there's cutting involved, right? Meat cleaver.
There is,
All
yes.
right.
So we'll move this out of the way.
I've got a license to cut. Am I doing this right?
You are, yeah. So then you'll just cut about 1 inch, and then you can even cut the bottom of this one too, and you got 3 pastas.
You're a perfectionist.
Yep.
Okay, so while you cook up the pasta, I hear you guys have a really special engine in the garage.
We
I'm
do.
gonna go check it out, okay?
We do.
I'll leave you with the meat cleaver.
Absolutely, let's do it.
We're back out here in the garage with Battalion Chief Luke Peterson, and you have what appears to be a Terminator arm, but I know that's not what it is.
No, you're right. That's not what it is. This is what is referred to as the jaws of life. At least the layperson would think of this as the jaws of life. But what it is a battery-powered extrication tool. So typically in the fire service, what we had was a big generator and hydraulic lines that we'd have to fire up the generator, run the hydraulic lines to the tool, and then we were able to go to work if there was an accident.
That would take a long time, but this makes it a lot quicker.
Sure, a lot quicker. So we're able to pull this off of our vehicle, hit the button, power up the tool, and then go to work right away.
Speaking of work, firefighter Eric is busy in the kitchen, placing the pasta in boiling water, then hand breading chicken cutlets with seasoned flour, salted and beaten eggs, and homemade breadcrumbs. The chicken goes into hot olive oil, and the finished pasta gets tossed with cooked mushrooms, shallots, and a basil pesto oil. If you think Eric loves food as much as battling fires, you'd be right. He has an entire Instagram page dedicated to cooking.
Time for my minimal participation, and you've given me something that you think I can handle, and that is fresh pesto. So how do we make it?
So we're going to take these almond slivers, garlic, and basil, and that goes in the blender, okay?
Smells so good. All right, and then what else are you going to throw in here?
Parmesan cheese.
Yep.
Yes.
Salt. And then just give this lemon a squeeze.
I don't have the firefighter strength, but I'll...
All right, and then after that, you're just gonna pour in some olive oil.
Is there a measurement that goes with this?
I like to say just measure with your heart. You're adding essentially some liquid to get this going, and then as you start blending it, you're gonna keep on adding. That's really good.
Mamma mia! We're finally to the last step of this intricate dish, and where did you get the idea for this?
You know, I fell in love with the Italian cuisine and the Italian culture from my wife, Nani, and Papa. The first generation Italians, Nani's from Calabria, Papa's from Guarcino, Italy. As they immigrated here, a piece of them that is just so rich in our family. Food is a part of who they are, and it made their family, and there's so much behind the scenes that is so special to me. So I wanted to emulate that, and so I can pass it down to further generations in our family.
That is so awesome, Eric. And so this is pretty easy. Even I could do it. What is the first thing that we throw in the bowl?
We're just going to take tomatoes here. Just take some tomatoes, however you want. Chuck them right in there.
I love tomatoes.
Yeah,
Okay.
these fresh cherry tomatoes are super sweet.
And then
really,
I see
really
you've
delicious.
got some peaches.
Yep, then just take some peaches. You're going to toss some peaches in, however you like. Okay.
I'm going to put more than probably
Absolutely.
necessary.
Throw in some fresh mozzarella cheese. And then take a couple pinches of some mint in there. Throw that mint in. Okay. And then we're going to drizzle some olive oil inside, right on top. Like a good serving of olive oil. And then after that, go ahead and stir this up. After it's all stirred, you can pour it right in here, and then you can finish it with just some more fresh mint.
An Italian masterpiece. Generations in the making and shared with family at this fine firehouse.
Eating in an Italian family, it's what brings everybody together. We start our day at the table and we finish our day at the table. Is the Italian culture, and we answer all the greatest questions in life at that table. And food is what it's all about. And good food from the heart and cooked with love.
We are heating up the kitchen with the Lake Forest Fire Department, and they have won so many cooking awards. We're going to need a bigger boat. We have stepped into the kitchen with firefighter Nick Doval, and what are we making?
We're going to make some chicken parm smash burgers.
Okay, so I couldn't help but notice this is an interesting table setting.
Oh, this?
Yeah, what is that?
This, you asked. This is only my first place trophy from the rib cook-off.
And you're very proud of that, I can see.
I am. Libertyville Rib Cook-Off right here.
Okay, so I feel like I'm in good hands. Tell me this recipe that we're whipping together, why is this such a hit at the firehouse?
It's a hit. It's quick and easy. It's delicious. You can change it. You can adapt it any way you want. You can throw a little bit more garlic in there. You can throw a little bit more Italian seasoning. You can literally change it any way you want.
Okay, perfect. What's the first step?
So first step is generally it's about 1 cup of Italian breadcrumbs for 1 pound of meat. Right now we got 4 pounds. We're gonna kind of just gauge it.
All right, let's throw it together.
Fire hose that ground chicken with a hearty heaping of breadcrumbs, cheese, and 2 eggs.
So let's go ahead and mix.
All right. It's a good thing we both have really big hands.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. So once it's got a good consistency, then we're just gonna start making the balls.
It's time to place these babies on the hot surface. And when I'm doing this, Nick, do you have anything that I need to keep in mind? A fire safety tip, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, when you're cooking at home, you always want to make sure that your kids are educated on cooking on the stove. You want to make sure you have working fire extinguisher. You want to make sure you have an escape plan just in case anything happens. And quite honestly, it just comes down to education. A lot of people don't educate their kids on proper cooking, and that's how people get hurt.
Or their wives, for that matter.
Or their husbands. Get a nice little crust or bark on the bottom. Then we're going to take some wax paper, smash them down into patties, let them continue cooking, and then we'll flip them over.
Okay, Nick, looks like it's time for my minimal participation. So you want me to spoon a heaping spoonful of this marinara, right?
Yes, ma'am, on each patty.
Do it. And what kind of marinara do you prefer?
In the firehouse, you do anything that's on sale. I like Rouse, or you can do your own homemade.
Let me make a suggestion. There's a firefighter named Mario who works with the Berwyn Fire Department. He makes his own sauce. It is jarred and for sale, and all of the proceeds go to firefighting charities.
We will check that out.
Next, slap on some slices of mozzarella cheese and fresh basil. and place a large cookie sheet over the burgers to heat up the cheese.
So right now you can see a lot of the mozzarella is starting to melt. Give it about another minute. Let's let it melt a little bit more, and then we're good to serve.
All right, it's time for another award-winning meal from Chef Nick. Dig in, guys.
I've worked at a previous fire department, and their cooking was good, but Nick's cooking is takes the cake.
Nick, someone with such a narrow skill set, he always nails it when it comes to cooking, so we love him.
Serving only the best to a fire department that goes out of its way to give first-class service to Lake Forest.
When people don't know who to call, they call us. So I always try to tell our staff, when somebody calls and they have an issue, we don't say we can't or we won't do that. We're going to do whatever we can to try and help out.
Coming up, mind your own biscuits. Carpentersville firefighters spill the gravy on their favorite breakfast dish. Mind your biscuits and life will be gravy. We are headed to Carpentersville, where breakfast is always on the menu. We are cooking with fire at the Carpentersville Fire Department, making one of my favorite breakfast meals.
And boy, do these boys know how to roll out the red carpet. Look, Ma, we got our own sign.
We have stepped into the kitchen with Fire Lieutenant Brian Berry. We are making his famous biscuits and gravy. And why is this recipe so important to you?
So this was a recipe my dad taught me. He was a firefighter in Elgin for 30 years and used to prepare it, and now I've taken it to my station.
I love it. Okay, so what's the first step?
First step is we got to keep our clothes clean.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, so we always put on our aprons.
That is a smoking hot apron.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so seriously though, what is the first step?
We got to brown the sausage.
Okay, and that's going to take a while, right?
Yes. The key to this whole thing is you get it nice and brown and really brown it up, brings out the flavor.
All right, so while you're doing that, I'm going to learn something or two.
While the lieutenant fires up the dish, I'm learning an important skill.
We're going to be talking about our Stop the Bleed class. We provide that here at the fire department. We've got an array of equipment here. North American Rescue provides some of the best equipment out there that you can get on their website. We also have training props for wound packing, holding pressure, and teaching tourniquet use.
And if I want to sign up for this class, it's available to everybody. Where do I do that?
Yeah, go to Seville.org, and you'll find that on our website under Fire Department, and go to our Facebook page.
All right, I'm ready to eat.
Me too, I'm hungry.
Back in the kitchen, we add 2 tablespoons of butter to our sizzling sausage.
These aprons are going to be selling like hotcakes. I know, Lieutenant. Okay, so now it's time to finish up the gravy. What do we throw in here?
So we got 4 tablespoons in already and 4 cups of milk. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 flour, 1 milk.
Okay.
And then after that, it's seasoned salt.
Let's throw that in.
Yep. And then garlic salt or garlic powder. The rest of the flour there. And then the 2 cups of milk. And then just mix it up really, really good. You want to make sure there's no clumps or anything, otherwise it'll cook into like a paste. I know it looks like a lot of grease, but all the flavor's in there, so you want to keep that. Just go ahead and dump it right on there.
Smells delicious.
And ladies, look at those biscuits.
Lieutenant, this looks so good.
One final step here, though, we put a couple of fried eggs on top. Get that yolk running into it.
All right, looks like it's ready to serve.
All set.
We have a bonus meal by firefighter Dan Strike, and we are making avocado toast. We've already mashed up the avocado and put in some salt and pepper. What is next, Dan?
All right, so what's next is we're going to add some granulated garlic.
Put that in there.
So we'll add that in there.
And why do you guys make this in addition to the biscuits and gravy? Because that seems like it would be enough.
Yeah, so we never know when that next call is going to come in. So we have this as like a little snack. It's out on the table for the guys to eat while biscuits and gravy is being prepared.
All right, so let's slather that on here, right?
Yep, you got it.
We've got some sourdough toast. Looks so good and it smells good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got some kind of gourmet toppings as well.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to finish it off with some feta. We'll get some feta on there. All right. It comes out.
All right.
Cherry tomatoes.
Am I at a restaurant or in a fire station?
You are in the firehouse. All right. So here we go, and then we'll finish it off with a balsamic reduction glaze.
You hear that? It's the folks over at Michelin giving this firehouse 3 stars. 2 for cooking and 1 for making my heart flutter.
The guys are constantly running throughout the week, going calls, doing public ed events, and on the weekends it's a nice time for the firefighters to kind of decompress, sit down like a family, and enjoy a home-cooked meal. So this is one of the favorites of the firefighters here at Carpentersville.
Thanks to all of our first responders who work hard every day to keep our communities safe. You can find all of the recipes on fox32chicago.com under the Good Day tab. Have a wonderful holiday season.